that moment, it wasn't Luke asking, it was God asking. And how can you say no to that? This was the calling that God had placed on our lives. Last time we ended with us basically in a waiting phase. This, to me, is like personal way that God really showed us how we were going to do what we were going to do. We're sitting in our yard in Tennessee on a Saturday. One of the guys from our church drives up to our driveway and he says, "Hey, I got this bike. I know you'll do something with it, Matt. Here's this really nice carbon fiber bike." And what did you say when you saw that bike hit the sidewalk?
It's like, oh, it looks like it'll fit me.
Oh, it looks like it'll fit me. What? So you start riding bikes with me. That's kind of like our first.
Well, it got me time with you.
Yeah, got you time with me. And
Can you blame me?
Yeah, no, I don't blame you at all because I'm a cool guy. I had a buddy that I was riding with, really good guy, loves Jesus, and just great camaraderie. His name's Alan Posey. He texted me and said, "Hey, if someone were to give you a gravel bike, would you take it?" And like, it's sort of, I mean, if someone would give you anything that you like, wouldn't you take it? Yeah, of course I would take it. So he comes to my house, pulls off this bike. I start looking at the bike as I'm riding it around, and it really reminds me of a bike that I just seen, which happened to be Alan Posey's bike that he had just gotten maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I get back to the driveway and he meets me with a smile on his face and he's like, "Does it fit? Does it work?" You know, and I'm like, "I gotta ask you, like, is this your bike?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is my bike." And I said, "Okay, well, what are you doing?" And he said, "God tells me that I need to give this to you. I've already cried about it to God. I can't take this home. This is supposed to be your bike." So I'm like, okay, I've got to do something with this bike. And there's a gravel bike ride that's coming up with Ends the Recycling. And I'm like, I'm signing up for this ride.
I remember saying, "Okay, God, I want him to go, but I'm super jealous that he gets to go and I don't get to go. Mm-hmm. So please just help me to be okay with it."
So the very next day, I get a phone call from the ride director. Mm-hmm. Someone has to dip out on the ride and they want to give their ride as a scholarship. And he said, "We were thinking that your wife should come." And I'm like, "What?" Yeah.
It was literally the next day.
It literally, not even 24 hours.
From our conversation.
Yes. Yeah. So I call you. I don't even know what I said.
You said, "Do you want to go on this ride?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, and I guess I got to figure out what to do with the kids. Let me call my mom." I tell her the whole situation, tell her what's going on, and she's like, "Okay, your dad and I will come up." And I was like, "What?" So sure enough, we called the ride director back and we're like,
we're in.
I guess we're going.
I guess we're in, and let me pay for that.
So Matt did have to pay for his ride. I didn't have a gravel bike, but they told us that they would help us find one when we got there.
We're riding. We met this crazy guy named Luke Schriefer, mm-hmm. who kind of looks like Jack Black. He worked for IncaLink at the time and just started sharing what these ministries were doing and this different stories. And we had heard so many stories over the last 10 years, mm-hmm. but for whatever reason, these stories were penetrating our hearts just a little bit, or hitting our hearts a little bit harder.
Our first full day of riding, we were at dinner. Luke just continued to share more about the organization as a whole, and he asked us questions about who we were and what we did.
Yeah, he was just getting to know us.
Yeah, it was very normal conversation.
Normal conversation, and then like the most bizarre thing happens. Luke just looks at me and goes, "Hey, Matt, would you be interested in bringing your entire family to serve over the summer with IncaLink?" And I'm like, "I don't even know you." And who asks questions like that? Oh man, it just felt like this was God saying, "Do you want to come?" Mm-hmm. And we had been praying like our whole family would be involved in this, and it's so hard to find a niche where your whole family can serve together. And so something about him he wasn't asking Matt to come. He wasn't asking Matt and Jess to come. He knew we had 4 kids. He was asking our family to come. And I felt like in that moment, it wasn't Luke asking, it was God asking. And how can you say no to that?
We didn't.
No, we didn't say no to that because you can't say no to that. And there was a whole lot more details to wrap up there. But you can't say no to that. It really just solidified this was the calling that God had placed on our lives. And I remember coming back home and we had a dinner. I think you said your dad has an announcement for us. And immediately it was like all their hands shot up. I don't know why their hands shot up. We never said raise your hand to speak because they usually just interrupt you. But all their hands shot up and they're like, we're gonna be missionaries. We're gonna move to South America. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Like just sharing everything that we were going to do. And just blown away, right? What an incredible memory. And I'm glad this is on video for our future. There's a lot more that has to happen after this decision, right? And we want to continue talking about that and unloading some of that as we continue.